Having trouble with your garage door? Problem solved. Call Direct Service Overhead Garage Door Company. We're your go-to team for garage door repair, new garage doors, openers, and more. We offer same-day service. We're always ready when you need us. Best of all, you can book your appointment online or talk to a live operator 24/7. No machines, no waiting. So whether it's a broken spring or a brand new garage door, trust the local experts at Direct Service Garage Doors. Call us today or visit directserviceoverhead.com.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Postgame Live Show. Arkansas loses in a familiar... I feel like we've been here before, but there's someone else on the sidelines with the headphones. Bobby Petrino in his first game as the interim head coach for the Razorbacks as they traveled into Knoxville and found yet another way to lose another game. It's the title for this one is all over the place. I wanted to call it the same but different Arkansas losing or Arkansas losing to Knoxville. I'm sure Facebook comment section will be graceful in their critiquing of the title of this video and the thumbnail. This was a weird one. This was a weird one. I mean, we saw some things here in the first half that was kind of like what we expected, short of Tennessee couldn't get out of their own way, penalties, mistakes, drop passes. That really could have been a worse first half for Arkansas. And, some things went their way. Some of the officiating went their way. We can't sit here and act like Arkansas wasn't gifted some calls. I know Hog fans will scream about, well, they missed a hold here and a hold there. Really, I think Arkansas got the benefit of the doubt from the officiating, which was, I don't know. I mean, yeah, hey, it's about time. I just wish Arkansas could do something about it, right? I wish they could actually take advantage. Hey, make sure you guys like, share, hit the subscribe button. If you're new here, definitely hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the notification bell. That way you know as soon as I go live, you're notified. You've got the notification sent your way. So, yeah, do that. Noble Villain says, here is your Arkansas fumble backs. I have never seen a team the last 2 years give games away the way that Arkansas has. I've just never seen anything like it before in my life. I just, you take away just one mistake, you might win this game. It's another close call. Now, a lot of things different with this, and again, a lot of things the same. Again, this is why I couldn't nail down the title for this video, but a lot of the same, and then there was some different in a positive way. In a positive way, we saw some things that were a little bit different. This was a closer game. I mean, the spread came down to, 11? Was it 10 or 11? 10 and a half, something like that on ESPN. And Arkansas beat the spread or covered the spread. They did it. And, again, I know it's still frustrating, and we don't want to sit here and talk about moral victories. I already see people bitching about that in Discord. I'm looking at Judd already complaining and bitching and moaning about moral victories. Listen, this is different, because you've got an interim head coach and a defensive staff that was wiped out. And the defense, while, still cut through like a hot knife through butter at times. And then other times, I mean, I think they had a couple of 3-and-outs. They were in position to or they helped put the offense in a better position. It's not entirely the defense's fault, once again, that they can't, that the offense can't take advantage when the defense is getting them in good situations. Although I think Arkansas, for the most part, they I don't know. We'll have to get into the numbers, really. The second half, as the third quarter unfolded, I was thinking to myself, I would much rather be playing Battlefield 6 than watching this shit. That's exactly what I was thinking. This is going to get ugly. Arkansas is going to let go of the rope even more. The offense and the defense, you could see it in Taylor Green's face. The camera kept zooming in on Taylor Green. He just looked completely bummed. And yet, outside of him fumbling the damn ball, I mean, again, what have I said for the last 2 years on this, or last year on this guy? He's a double-edged sword if there ever was one. He'll keep you alive on a drive. He can convert a 3rd and long either with his arm or with his legs, and then he'll throw a pick or he'll fumble the ball 2-3 times in a game. He'll turn it over, but then he could score. I mean, it's just he's an athlete and he can keep plays alive, and then he could take a sack for negative 15 damn yards. That's just who he is, and I really think. Again, this is all raw reaction. Tomorrow, I'm going to spend my Sunday. I probably will rewatch this one. I've only not rewatched one game this year. Notre Dame. Notre Dame was the only one I don't think I actually went back and rewatched. No, Memphis. I only watched the highlights. That's right. This one I will rewatch. I mean, listen. Yeah, I'm not happy, and I you can call this a moral victory. I don't really give a damn at this point. We all know, like, this year, what this is. What this is for Petrino, what this is for these players, and what it is for this staff, and what it is for Hunter Yurachek, and what it is for the fans. We all know what this is. I don't even know what the hell the point is bringing up a quote-unquote moral victory. It's not about that for me. It's about, can this team, if they fall behind, if Tennessee's got their boot on your throat, can you respond? If it looks like Tennessee's about to blow you off the map, and really take off, and we have a typical second half meltdown like we always do, like the Razorbacks always do, or do they respond? And I'll be damned, they responded, and they actually made this a pretty good game, and the defense actually made some stops, and the offense actually scored in the second half. They actually moved the ball. I mean, I'm going to be real. I was going through a roller coaster ride of emotions in that second half, and I was rage typing like everybody else, like, oh, here we go, typical same nonsense, in the second half. This is the same team. And yet, you know what? They went out there and they fought. And we got to remember, this is a legit playoff offense for Tennessee. This is a legit playoff offense for the Vols. Their defense has got some issues. I love that Mike Washington said they had holes, and he absolutely – the run game just absolutely exploited Tennessee. Like, they're a playoff contending offense with a barely bowl eligible defense. I mean, that's kind of what I see Tennessee as. I've watched them a little bit this year. They do have holes. Can they get to the playoffs? Sure. Would it shock me if they lose a couple more games and they get knocked out of the playoffs? Yeah, no, it wouldn't shock me at all. Tennessee's got some issues. And their defense. Listen, and by saying that, we're also completely wiping away what Arkansas can do as an offense. We saw that. That came back today. That came back. And remember, before you say, well, yeah, but we had a bye week. Okay, so did Notre Dame. And nothing about this offense really changed outside of the two-back set. We haven't really run a lot of two-back sets this year. And yet we were seeing Russell and Washington on the field at the same time. And we saw Rodney Hill at one point. And Green motioned him out to to go line up at receiver. We saw some things that were a little bit different, but it was still mostly the same. They were a little bit more willing to run the ball. They were a little bit more willing to let both running backs, get some carries. And there were times when Green had all day to throw in the pocket. It wasn't until the second half when that offensive line really started to struggle. And I would say probably, I don't know, it felt like the tail end of the third quarter and then some of the fourth quarter, the offensive line just got overwhelmed. I think talent-wise, Tennessee's got a lot of talent in that front seven, but Arkansas's offensive line has some talent. Carmona, probably a draft pick. I don't know about Robinson yet. Don't know about Kittler, but there's some talent up there. There's some, Robinson was a very highly sought-after left tackle out of Georgia Tech, and he ended up at Arkansas. So, Arkansas was able to kind of match them for a little bit until they couldn't. And I don't know if that was an exhaustion thing. I will say, and like I said in the halftime show on Discord, Tennessee couldn't get out of their own way also in the first half. Again, they had miscues, they had penalties, and they had drop passes. That really could have been an uglier first half had Tennessee been able to get out of their own way. The defense still, again, just not good. Nothing about that is shocking. Nothing that I'm telling you about the defense is shocking. You're not going, oh my God, that's a crazy take, Ty. No, I think 99% of the people who've kept up with the Razorbacks agree. This is still the same defense. But I was glad to see them get some stops. So again, you lose another one-possession game. You find a way, you still struggle in the second half. You still turn the ball over. And yet you find a little bit of life in the second half and make it a game when the players didn't completely let go of the rope. So you want to know where I'm at with Petrino? You want to know where I'm at? I'll tell you on Monday. I'll tell you on Monday. Because there were still some things with this offense that were, a little bit troubling. I love that he went for it on that first fourth down in the opening quarter on that opening drive. That took a lot of kahunas, man. And what did that do? Three plays later, you scored or whatever. That was, hey, I like that. That's the kind of ballsy attitude we needed this year and last year. And so again, you look at this and you think, man, had they just not one less turnover. Maybe one less penalty, or it was that close because of Arkansas's ability to fight in the bottom of that fourth quarter in a hostile environment. Knoxville is probably it's got to be up there, not just in the SEC, but one of the toughest places to play at in the country. You're talking 100,000 people screaming, and the Vols fans now, they think they're world beaters. They're good. They're not world beaters. They might make it to the playoffs. I think maybe there's a couple losses in there for them. Boy, they got problems on defense. I'm just going to tell you. Mississippi State is good. Speaking of Judd's in here. Mississippi State is good. Auburn is a toss-up, but it's a home game, so we'll see. Yeah, we do have a poll up, and it's Hogs will win some games, ? 79% of you say yeah. I don't know coming into this game that number would have been that. I really don't. So if you're just now getting in here, make sure you like, share, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, please, and make sure you turn that on to all notifications. That way you know as soon as I go live. Again, you never know. I might go live inside a Walmart bathroom. I went live at Sam's Club not that long ago. So you never know. Something breaking happens, I'm going to be there. So make sure you have that notification bell turned on. And consider joining Patreon, man. I say this time and time again. It really does keep this independent show independent. And this is a very community-driven, with Discord and everything and the actual Patreon site and doing these live chats in and out of Discord and in Patreon. Like, it's very community-driven, so help support the show. $4, man. I mean, $8 or more and you have a shot at winning a card. Former Arkansas player card. So 79% of you say, yeah, they're going to win some games. Again, I don't think coming into this game, I don't think that number's anywhere near close to 79%. So other people are seeing what I'm seeing. Something tells me that Arkansas is going to they're either going to do, God only knows, 6 games left now? You got a ton of opportunities to get an upset. In fact, any damn game you win from here on out is an upset. You're not favored. I'm pretty sure the Mississippi State game will change on Monday. I bet it changes. Or, I think it's favored. It's Arkansas favored at 60%. It might drop a little bit and still keep Arkansas in the favor of winning the game. I don't know. Bobby, don't lose to the Aggies. It will come together next week, says Coca 1019. He beat A&M. So he was undefeated against A&M here, 3-0. And then he went back to Louisville, and I don't know how many times he played them at Louisville, but I know he beat them at least once. I don't know if that was a home-and-home or what, but he does have a pretty good record against A&M, at least going back since his first time here, and then I'm pretty sure his second time at Louisville, so you never know, right? Here's Crash Out. Well, at least basketball season comes quick. Blah, 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 blah. I told you, man, you're just going to crash out. This is what you ought to do. You ought to, listen, no one is predicting Arkansas to make a bowl game, okay? You know what's going to happen. They're probably going to lose the majority of these games, maybe, right? I don't know. I kind of leave this game with a little bit more of a, okay, all right, that could have been worse. I thought that was going to be worse. But that doesn't mean I'm expecting 4 wins. I'm not expecting 4 wins. I think they might get an upset and maybe win. Again, any game you win is going to be an upset. Maybe they get a couple of wins, and hopefully they can stay in all these games. And again, I'll tell you just kind of where I'm at on Monday. By the way, Mullen is now 6-0 at UNLV. Just saying. I know. UNLV and Arkansas are 2 different places, but it's not like he's up there with a whole bunch of SEC talent up and down that roster. They've got some talent, but it's not chock full of SEC caliber players. 3 out of 4 losses are because of fumbles. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy, Apple Blue Dot. Isn't that nuts? Arkansas's losses this year, you go back to turnovers. It's, again, that's why I had such a hard time titling this damn video. It's more of the same and yet unexpected because of what happened to the defense. Talking about the staff getting wiped out outside of one coach. I mean, I know there's some other people still there, but you know what I mean, like the main guys. No Travis Williams, no Deke Adams, Woodson, all gone. And then also because, you know, you've got interim guys, you've got analysts that were promoted. So, yeah, it is more of the same, and yet somehow it does. I don't feel as bad. And obviously you lost by what was the score? You lost by 3 points. 34-31. I mean, this really could have been worse. This could have been way uglier, all things considered. I know UCLA is out there winning games. I don't know. Someone said Oklahoma State looked better. I think Virginia Tech is on a losing streak since they fired their coach. I could be wrong about that, but I guess it's not the end of the world when you fire your head coach. But I don't think anyone's expectations should be, oh, look, see, they're doing it at UCLA. They beat Penn State and they beat whoever they played today. So why can't we? Well, because you're playing at Knoxville, that, you know, a potential playoff caliber team. And I know Penn State. So was Penn State. That's fair. That was also at UCLA too, though. Makes a big difference. So Arkansas again 0-2 in SEC play. I mean, listen again. Your feelings are going to get hurt when you look at Arkansas's record and moving forward. I don't know. I don't know how many wins I see yet. Again, I'm going to have to take a look tomorrow. Get caught up on all the games. Arkansas right now riding yet another losing streak. I say yet. 4-game losing streak with losses to Ole Miss, who's ranked, Memphis, who is ranked, Notre Dame, who I think is still ranked, and Tennessee, who's probably going to get bumped up into the top 10. If not, they're going to be, I mean, you know, they'll stay at 12th place. If not, maybe move up to 11th. And then you've got A&M coming up, who's currently number 5. And then Auburn, Mississippi State, at LSU, at Texas, and then you got Missouri. So you got these next 3 games. You got 3 opportunities in Fayetteville to make this not such an embarrassing season. And then in a row. And then you got Missouri, who comes to town to close the year out. But I don't know, man. Again, I'm not like super discouraged. I really thought I told you guys on Wednesday, Tennessee is going to beat the hell out of Arkansas because, you know, I'm thinking you fired the staff. The secondary is still booty cheeks. Aguilar in Tennessee is one of the most like potent offenses in college football. They want revenge. We're going to Knoxville. I mean, to me, it was like a perfect storm. Arkansas is going to get smoked. And it didn't happen. I mean, I fully expected we're going to have a post game where I'm raging and I'm, you know, whatever. And I'm not. I'm like, damn, actually, okay. But again, I don't want you to think I'm happy. I'm not. I'm still like, shit, you know. I mean, again, you're still losing the same way you always lose games, except the only thing different this time is Pittman isn't your head coach. Pittman isn't your head coach, and yet you're still putting the ball on the ground. You're still turning the ball over entirely too much. Welcome in, everybody. If you're just joining us, make sure you take the poll. Hogs will win some games, ? That number has now gone up to 80%. Arky56 says, our offense is fine, just need better players on defense. Well, the offense is I'm not arguing with you, Dad. They're not bad. The offense isn't bad. And I was glad to see life in Taylon Green at the end of this thing. I was glad to see him hitting open receivers, but the fumbling and putting the ball on the ground, it's just, man, when does it end? Or is that just who he is forever? You know, remember it was not that long ago they were talking about this guy like an All-American Heisman. And he's just not that. He's not that. I think he's hit his ceiling, and this is who he is. He's going to get you a bunch of yards. He's going to probably get 2-3 touchdowns a game, but then he's also going to fumble and turn it over, and then Arkansas is still going to lose games. Those guys don't end up in New York. They don't end up as Heisman finalists. But his numbers have been crazy this year. I mean, he's still, yardage-wise, one of the top quarterbacks. Again, double-edged sword. He can cut the person in front of him and the person wielding the sword. Let's read some more of your comments here. Well, if I get this off my screen, here we go. Ty, Arkansas being competitive is all we can ask for right now. We have wasn't sure what I was about to read. We have Murders Row here on out. You're right, Manny. You're exactly right. This is, and again, moral victories. If that's what people want to call them, fine. Call them a moral victory. I don't really care. I mean, at the end of the day, this is about what does this do for Petrino's resume? How does this empower Petrino to be the guy? Like how does this put him in a position where, oh damn, okay, and moral victories won't do it. Close wins or close losses, close L's are not going to get him the job. This won't get him the job. Nothing about today says nope. He's got to be the man. No, it's not how this works. He's got to win. He's got to win games. There's all kinds of he's got to win. He's got to win. The final however many games, or he's got to win all but one, and he's the guy. I just don't know that I buy that. It just depends on where Arkansas is at with a Dan Mullen. And it sounds like, and we're going to talk about the whole Rhett Lashley stuff on Monday. We've had some stuff kind of floating around about Rhett Lashley, about how that's probably maybe not a possibility. So if you start swinging and missing on people, if you start swinging and missing on more of these coaches, if all of a sudden, kind of like what we're going through right now with Rhett Lashley, although I don't know, I'm just not willing to count anybody out yet. But right now it feels like Rhett Lashley was up there, right? We were being told, he wants the job, going all the way back to when Paul Feinbaum was talking about how he was meddling to get the job. You remember that? Paul Feinbaum, of all people, is making this crazy statement with no evidence that he's meddling with the powers that be in Little Rock. And I'm assuming they're talking about the Board of Trustees. And how he wants the job. Well, now what's happening? The smoke is now like that name is you're starting to wonder if you're wiping that name off the map, right? So as we go through the process, every single game is a tryout for Bobby Petrino because we've wiped Rhett off the map. Assuming that's correct, right? Again, I don't know. What if Dan Mullen, no, we don't want to mess with his buyout. UNLV is going to be competitive, even though there's all kinds of rumors about how much money do they have. Can they really compete with an SEC school financially? But what happens when that goes to the wayside? What happens if I don't know, name any damn coach you want, and Petrino is sitting here and he finds a way to win these games, right? All of a sudden he wins 3 games and you're competitive and everything else, and if it's true that you're swinging and missing on these head coaches, and this offense only gets better from here on out, maybe it does. Probably not, though, because of the gauntlet you have left to play. Is that the case? And then all of a sudden it's like, no, it's a realistic possibility. Unbiased Brim says Dan Mullen is going to be a bust if he becomes our coach. Mark my words. I don't know, Brim. Listen. Again, the fact that he has done this at another school in a similar situation, he won 21 games his first 2 years at Florida. He had Mississippi State. I mean, he completely turned that program around. I don't know. I don't know who, again, it's a dice roll with every damn hire. Who the hell would have thought Brett Bielema, if you guys remember when he was hired, it was the ultimate what the hell just happened. It was like, oh my God, they just pulled this guy from Wisconsin. It was a dice roll. How did it work out? It didn't. And why? Is it because he had no background in the SEC? I think that probably could have been it. I think I was wrong when I said I didn't care about that back in the day. Now I do. Dan Mullen, his background is in the SEC, and he's won here. So I don't know who the perfect fit is. Rhett Lashley, I like the Rhett hire if that were possible. But then, I know they just curb stomped Stanford today, but he made the playoffs. Okay. How long has he been a head coach, right? Like you can go down this you can poke holes in every coach. And again, that wasn't even the point. Fix your camera. What's wrong with it? What's wrong with my camera? Oh, is it blurring out? Yeah, it was. I don't know. Is it? I don't know. It's stuck. Hold on. Let me try this. Let's try. Wow. There it goes. It just got stuck. There we go. Thank you for the heads up. Appreciate that. Bobby will be the head coach to save money. I don't know. I don't want to go down this. Again, every time we go live, this is what every live show is going to turn into, talking about who we want. Again, I want to go back to this. Today was honestly it was a good start. If you're on Team Petrino, today was a good start. It wasn't a great start because you didn't win, but it was a pretty good start. You went into Knoxville, a game that you were picked to lose by double digits. I had Arkansas getting blown out. And they made it a ball game, and they didn't let go of the rope. And we're hearing all sorts of stuff that, there might be stuff going on behind the scenes. I couldn't tell on the field. I couldn't see that on the field. I don't know. Brim says it's about to be basketball. Yeah, it is, but Brim, listen, and I've said before, we're going to transition into basketball, but now things got interesting with football, but we are going to get into hoops. But at the end of the day, football is my favorite love, and it's hard for me to just abandon it. But yeah, basketball's almost here, and I can't wait. If they play hard every game from here on out, like they did today, give him an incentive-heavy contract, and spend money on a roster. Says Russ Vegas PD. Yeah, next 3 games are at home, Eric. You are correct, and that is thank God. I mean, they're back home. Thank you, Jesus. Good effort today, regardless of who's coach. I think is what he's trying to say. The coach does not play. David, I don't know how I'm supposed to read into your comment. Are you saying that who's coaching the players doesn't matter? Is that what you're saying? Because I kind of disagree with that. No, this is actually pretty spectacular. All things considered, the guy that recruited you out of the portal or out of high school, the coach that you reported to every day of the week, the guy that goes over film with you, the guy that teaches you technique and understanding the install and the plays and that verbiage and the language, that guy not being there anymore, no, that absolutely matters. That absolutely matters, man. 100,000%. I don't know if that's what you were saying. Maybe I'm reading it wrong, but no. I will say this: like there was better effort, and I wonder if that is a sign of the coaching change. If Pittman were the head coach today, how do you think this game would have turned out? There's your post-live comment question. We don't normally do them on post games, but that's going to be – there's your XP, all right? You want 1,000 XP right there's how you get it. 1,000 XP for people in Discord since we just started this new cycle. If Pittman were the head coach, how do you think would today have turned out different? Maybe you think, you know what, he would have won. You know what? He would have won. That would be wild. That would be something not in his wheelhouse because he doesn't win close games. Maybe you think it would have been a blowout, or maybe it's the same. You tell me. That's your post-live comment question for XP right there. Petrino has had Petrino has had the team 5 minutes, and we are this much better, says WDT. Again, appreciate everyone for hopping in here. Make sure you hit the like button. Sharing is caring, and hit the subscribe button, and also make sure you turn on the notifications and check out all the links provided for you down below. With Pittman, 60-0 Tennessee. All right. Talk forever, Ty. Stun the like. Appreciate that. Golly, I really hate how I can't click out of that. There we go. At the end of the day, coaches don't play. Yeah, David, man, that's crazy talk to me, man. I mean, you're wrong and not wrong at the same time. You're wrong and not wrong at the same time, David. I appreciate the comment. I do. But you're wrong and not wrong. Who's coaching you does matter, man. I mean, especially when you're going through a bye week, all that changes when you fire the head coach and most of the defensive staff. That's a big change. And that's why I think it's an even bigger deal that they were able to make this a ball game. Like, yeah, we may either have to agree to disagree or I don't know. But, yeah, you're wrong and right at the same time. If Pittman were our head coach today, the team wouldn't likely get off the bus, says I am Prue. God dang, it's hard to argue with that. Hire Grant Morgan to coach linebackers. Hoyt Allen says Petrino had 2 weeks. Let's give him another few weeks and see where he's at. Yeah, Hoyt, that's not a bad take. Camo is here to spread the hate. He says L is an L. Yeah, you're wrong. You're wrong on that one, Camo. You have to consider the circumstances and what's going on. We simply have Tennessee's number. This is now 5 in a row. Well, no, I mean we lost the game. Devin Anderson says Petrino had a team that had given up and let go of the rope. Show up ready to fight. That says a lot about the respect the players have for him. That's Devin Anderson. Yeah. Notre Dame should not have unfolded the way that it did. Notre Dame is not that good to blow you out like that. They're just not. I'm sorry. They're good. I'm not saying they're a bad team. Their schedule with what's left, they better win out, right? They better win some games. But they had no business blowing you out. This team absolutely let go of the rope against Notre Dame. They didn't today. And that's a very, very good sign. And yeah, whether or not they're playing for Petrino or they're playing for their next paycheck, right? You know, trying to get good film out there. He has stressed that. He has stressed that since the first time behind a microphone. No use says there's a reason Petrino has the rest of the year to try out. King's Echo, I love this comment. Why can we not hold on to the damn football? It's your guess is as good as mine. It's so predictable. And that's what's so frustrating. Like it's more of the same and yet somehow different. Yeah, Pittman lost the team. Never mind, I saw Tennessee and Ole Miss higher on another thing. Okay. The defense went from a 2-10 team to a 4-8 team. I'd say that's improvement to some degree. We actually got some stops. Yeah, there was some improvement on defense. Again, you have to consider I don't know where they're going to stack up by the end of the year in terms of like how good their offense is, but man, so far this is a legit offense. Tennessee is a legit offense. Again, this is a playoff caliber offense. And Arkansas found a way, that defense found a way to put Arkansas in position to make this a closer game and to potentially win the game. And that's saying something. I mean, up until, the very end, right? Russell's fumble was caused by a hell of a play. Yeah, it was. That was a really good play, Hogwild. You're right. Tennessee's got some guys. They've got some athletes on defense. There's no doubt. We can't take any credit away from Tennessee. I think they're a good football team. I don't know how good yet. They're good though. Their offense. They've got some absolute playmakers. And yeah, I don't know. David Atkinson. Okay, this is good. This is good. We ought to be called the University of Turnovers. Yeah, I mean, 100%, man. I just don't understand how this is still a problem. It was an issue last year. How many times did they put the ball in the field last year? It was like 30 times. And they turned it over off fumbles like 12 times or something. I mean, it was insane. Now, to be fair, they actually hadn't been fumbling the ball a lot compared to last year at this point, but it's still too high. As long as they don't change our colors to burnt orange, says Live to Play 9. Tim Neal says Tennessee is a legit offense, but weren't we right there with him? Didn't we put up more yards? I don't know about like total yards coming into this game. I actually don't have that in front. If you're talking about coming into the game, total offense, yeah, Arkansas outgained them 496 yards to 485. I thought they eclipsed 500 yards, but I guess they didn't. Aguilar had 221 yards through the air. Third down efficiency, Arkansas. I mean, this is not bad. 7 of 13. Arkansas continues to be pretty impressive on third down. They are. They're one of the best. This is one of the better third down offenses they've had. You know, there were times last year where they were pretty good. Tennessee was 2 of 9 on third down. Arkansas would go 1 for 2 on fourth down. Yeah, Arkansas had almost 500 yards of offense, and Tennessee had 485. So they were both close to 500. Again, for the first time this year, they still get outscored in the second half. Tennessee outscored them 17-14 in the second half. Arkansas would score 17 in the first half, 14 in the second. And then Tennessee would have 17 in the first half, 17 in the second half. Obviously with 34 points. Yeah, I mean, they were definitely better today. Yeah, Tim, in this game, yeah, they had more offense. But what happened in the second half, though? I'm glad they got some points, Tim. I'm glad they got points. But what did they still do in the second half? They still turned the ball over, and they still made untimely mistakes and penalties. Like, there's still some of that that's still there. But, yeah, you're right. I mean, I'm glad they outgained Tennessee, but they still lost the game. Hold the ball with both hands, arms when you are about to get hit. Stop carrying it like a loaf of bread. You mean the way Matt Jones used to – remember how Matt Jones used to run with that ball? Oh, that used to drive me crazy all those years ago, and it's still James 870 Arc fan says, hey, we didn't get called for a penalty till the fourth quarter. Yeah, I think that's right. I'm pretty sure that's right. They didn't get hit with a penalty. Like, it was actually a little bit cleaner in that regard, but they still fumble the ball. Yeah, again, David, I agree with this. This was a better game to watch overall. Now, in the third quarter, I thought this thing was about to get ugly. I really did. In the third quarter, I thought this is going to get bad. And they scored 10 points in the third that were unanswered in the third quarter, and then Arkansas comes out in the fourth and scores 14 points. They won. Listen, Arkansas won the first and fourth quarter. It's good to see. How many times have we been able to say that this year? I'm proud of them. I mean, I know. Moral victory. The way I see it, though, you can call it that. At this point, it's just like, whatever, man. Just don't get blown out. Don't get blown out. And let's see what happens. Let's look at these numbers. Aguilar, 16-25, 221 with a touchdown. Deshaun Bishop, Arkansas made him look really good today. 14 carries, 146 yards. That's almost 10.5 yards per carry with a touchdown. That's almost 10.5 yards per carry and a touchdown. His longest run from the line of scrimmage was 32. Joey Aguilar had a 28-yard run. If not for that, you would have held Aguilar well under 50 yards. And then Peyton Lewis had 8 carries, 33 yards, 2 touchdowns. Yeah, Arkansas's run defense is still booty cheeks. I mean, this is going to be the battle. This is going to be the battle moving forward, is figuring out how to – you're going to have to score 35, 40 points every game. Because Arkansas's offense – and again, I understand Tennessee's offense is legit. That's great. But, like, I still don't feel – this is still the thing. I like that they got stops, and I like that they made this game entertaining, talking about the defense in the second half, giving the ball back to the offense. I like that. But they're still giving up too many easy yards. Too many. I mean, they had multiple drives, 7 plays, 75 yards. That was their Tennessee's opening drive. It took Arkansas 9 plays to go 75 yards in 4.5 minutes. It took Tennessee just 2.5 minutes to score. Their next touchdown, which was in the second quarter, 5 plays, 75 yards. How long did that take them to score? 1:44. You did get a punt, right? It was kind of a mixed bag. You held them to a field goal in the third quarter, and that was 9 plays, 43 yards. Their next touchdown would happen towards the end of the third quarter, 6 plays, 74 yards, 1:50. It's like a hot knife through butter with this defense. If they can't get a 3 and out, they're going to give up. The next 4 plays are going to go for 60 damn yards. 4 plays, 19 yards in the fourth quarter for 1:31 to score. And then, of course, Tennessee would go 6 plays, 35 yards to end it, the final 2 minutes and 55 seconds of the game. Too quick, too easy, and this is still the concern that you have with Arkansas's defense. And again, we haven't seen them get off the field quick this year. We just haven't. Too easy. Braylon Staley, 6 catches, 109 yards, which is really good for them. Chris Brazzell, this dude is a monster. 1 catch for 5 yards. Is the secondary – again, I get it. Like, they ran the ball 40 times and they only threw it 25. But is the secondary maybe – again, considering this is Tennessee at home, did they make enough changes that maybe they're not going to give up the big, giant plays through the air? Because, again, most of the big plays were on the ground today. 32 and a 28-yard run, a 12-yard run by Mike Matthews. They had a number of other 8, 9-yard runs, just slicing and dicing Arkansas on the ground. However, in the outside of Braylon Staley's 42-yarder, and they did have a couple other 20-yard receptions or plays that resulted in 20 yards through the air. Kind of makes you wonder, are they making the right – and I'm not saying they're going to be good, but are they going to be at least better in the secondary? I don't know. But, again, I thought for sure Aguilar was going to throw for like 375 and 4 or 5 passing touchdowns, and that didn't happen. It was just on the ground. Again, they ran the ball for 6.5 yards a carry, Tennessee did. I don't like how easy it was for them to get TFLs, especially in the third and fourth quarter. Entirely too many. I think they actually ended up, I think it was 9. ESPN says it was 9. We'll take a look at that number. Tennessee also had 5 sacks. 5 sacks in this game. Arkansas with 0. And if ESPN is correct, they had just 2 TFLs. Again, I don't think that's right. I thought I counted at least 3 or 4, but whatever. We're splitting hairs at that point. Steven Dix had 11 tackles. Xavier Sawyer had 8. Dix also had a TFL, and then Wooden and Quincy Rhodes both shared part of a sack. They had 3 pass breakups. Tennessee with 2. So if Bobby was coaching starting the season, there's at least 2 more wins already, says J-Dog. Looking at Arkansas on offense, Taylon Green honestly started off pretty good. I think he was 7 of his first 9 or 8 of his first 10. He started off pretty good. He was finding his targets, especially when he had a little bit of time in the pocket, which he did. There were some, I don't know what his actual pressure rate was. I'll take a look at that tomorrow on PFF. I'm very curious because I know as the game went on, it got worse. But he does end up 21 of 31 for 256, 2 touchdowns. Mike Washington absolutely ripped. I mean, he just looked great. 7 yards per carry off 19 carries for 131 yards with a touchdown. He had a 38-yarder on the ground. Taylon Green, 17 of 63. Yet again, another 300-yard plus performance by Taylon Green. He had 3 total touchdowns. Yeah, and then what did he do also? He turned the damn ball over with a fumble. Braylon Russell got 8 carries, 47 yards. For some reason, I thought Braylon got into the double digits, but he did not. 8 carries, 47 yards. I think he got hurt. Did he get a little dinged up there towards the end? I seem to recall him getting he went off to the tent, right? To the to their sideline tent, whatever. Maybe I missed that. Raylan Sharp had 7 catches, 76 yards. Omega Blake, who I think he caught every damn pass that he was targeted, maybe outside. I think he was 5 of 7, 5 of 6, 65 yards. C.J. Brown, 3 for 50. Cam Shanks, 3 for 44. Shanks showing off a little bit of speed. Rohan Jones and Shanks both had the receiving touchdowns. Rohan Jones, 1 catch, 9 yards. Mike Washington caught the ball out of the backfield for 6 yards, and then Jaden Platt, 1 for 6. So you had a couple of different tight ends there get targeted. Yeah, so they're giving Arkansas 4 fumbles. 3 times Taylon put the ball on the field, according to ESPN. He lost 2. Braylon Russell also lost 1. So they lost 3 fumbles. 3 out of 4 fumbles. Guys, that's just terrible. You take away one of those, you probably win this damn game. I mean, that is just absurd to me. 4 fumbles in a single game. And I get it. Tennessee caused at least 2 of those. Maybe 3 out of the 4. But still, like, you got to hang on to the ball, man. We've seen guys with the ball and defenders trying to punch that ball out with all their strength and not fumble the damn ball. Why can't Arkansas do this? Why do they put the ball on the damn ground as often as they do? It's just pathetic. This is where I just want to rage. Just want to get so pissed off. Like, why do you do this? You can give credit to Tennessee all you want. At the end of the day, it is up to you to hold on to the damn ball. 3 times you turn the ball over due to fumbles. I didn't realize it was that many. It's just you can't do that. I mean, once in a game is too many. And we're sitting here talking like, oh, well, here we go again. I really do not believe that this team has worked on ball security, really. Like, I know they do it in front of the cameras during spring and fall camp when they allow the media there. But I think, Darren, once they cut the media off, I don't think they gave a damn about ball security. And if that's true, then that comes down to Pittman and Bobby Petrino. 10,000%. 10,000%. Because the offense is ran by Petrino. That was his practice. That was the way everything was orchestrated. That was Petrino. I know because I was there, saw it. That was his orchestrated offense. And I did see them work on it. I saw them work on it. But I wonder if they just move away from it. They don't give a damn. They're worried about install. They're worried about getting that playbook installed. I don't know. I'm just tired of this. Like, this has got to stop, dude. When we're looking at 4 fumbles and we're going up more of the same. And again, it would be one thing if this was like his first game calling, right? Or his first year as a coordinator and a whole bunch of new players, which, yeah, a whole bunch of new players, but a lot of these guys are juniors and seniors. Taylon Green's been here forever. Oh, he's been in college football forever. This is just stupid how often they fumble the ball. It's just stupid. Ty, I really believe all the blunders we continue to face is just the Pittman culture. Well, again, those practices on the offense were Petrino's practices. So at the end of the day, it's either a coincidence that you have that many players that fumble the ball, or you're not working on it. Which is it? And this is 2 years now. It's stupid. What's up, Hero Blake? How you doing, man? Jeremy Robertson says those Q-tip things don't work. So lazy. Yeah. You need to change it up, bro. It's obviously not working. It didn't work last year, and it's not working this year. Tyler Edmondson, there's an OG right there. Holy cow. Tyler Edmondson, the very first Patreon supporter. Ty, do you think we will get more of the Petrino-style defense as the season goes along, or will Bobby want to keep it simple like tonight? I have no idea, man. I don't know. Because he knows he's up against it, right? Like Petrino knows he's up against it. He wants the job, and maybe he'll make the changes. I don't know. Crash Out says, Ty, I say give it to Bobby, let him hire an OC in DC, and give him the NIL to get a legit roster. Well, again, he's on a trial basis here. He's on a trial basis. He's got a few more games left. I say a few more. What are we at? 6 more games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's got 6 more games to prove it. I do think that he didn't get off to a bad start with today. Again, this really could have been a big blowout, and Arkansas didn't let go of the rope. They absolutely came back, and they fought. I'm going to tip the cap to him for that. He's not off to a terrible start. He's not off to a great start, but he's not off to a terrible start. We'll see what they do against A&M and then turn around and play an improved Auburn team and an improved Mississippi State team. Then you got to go to LSU and go to Texas, then host Missouri, who went toe-to-toe today with Alabama, although they were at home. I thought Missouri was going to win that game. I really did. I picked them going into that to win it. And they were in position to win it. But again, what I saw today was promising. I just want to see them build off of this and then let's check back in a couple of weeks, right? Well, you know what I mean. As a fan base, we'll check back in a couple of weeks how we're feeling about Petrino. But again, that's still just A&M and Auburn at that point, right? And then after Mississippi State, you got your second bye week as you prepare for LSU. So we'll see. I think if they lose the next game, then I don't know if he will get the jobs as Marshall Meade. I don't know. There's been some reporting in our Patreon in Discord that he's going to have to win a lot of games to get the job. And listen, I like that. If that's true, then I like that the bar is raised. I'm a little surprised by that, all things considered. You know, you technically your toughest game is supposed to be A&M. And I still don't know what to make of them, if I really think they're a top 10 caliber team or not. I have liked what I've seen from them on offense. They look, when you watch them, they look like a playoff team, and yet there's still some questions about them on defense. You know, they gave up 22 to Utah State, UTSA 24. They gave up 24 to UTSA. They barely beat Auburn at home 16-10. They did take care of an improved Mississippi State team 31-9, but they gave up, sounds familiar, but they gave up 40 to Notre Dame. And they're playing Florida as we speak. Old Sam got to drink some cold beer. Got to drink some old cold beer watching the game from his house, so that's a win, says JV's Hangout. Hoyt Allen says Bobby needs to win 3-4 to even be considered. You might be right. I don't. Yeah, you're probably right. I think I would say to be considered is different than for sure getting the job. Right. I think winning 2 and then being competitive in the rest would put him in the conversation, but it would not be a lock for him to get the job. It would not be a lock for him to get the job. By the way, Auburn is driving right now on Georgia, and they're already up 10-0 with 7:18 left to go in the first half. Auburn, who's 0-2 in conference play. Georgia's 2-1, 10th in the country, sitting at 4-1 overall. Ty, are you on Rumble? No, I have Rumble. If I can multi-stream, I would to Rumble. To be honest, I probably should multi-stream everywhere, but I don't. I'm not the most tech-savvy guy in the world. Let's check up on this poll. Wow, it just continues to climb. Hogs will win some games. 83 now. It's 83%. 83% say yeah. So, again, I'm not the only one a little bit surprised by what happened today. If you're just joining and you're curious, well, what were your thoughts? Well, first off, you should have watched my show on Wednesday, but I thought Tennessee would blow Arkansas out. I thought this would be a blowout, and it wasn't. Arkansas actually showed that, hey, man, we can hang around and we're not going to let go of this rope. Not thrilled about today. Not happy about it. A loss is a loss. That is true. But I expected this to be a blowout, and it wasn't. We'll go ahead and put an end to the poll. We had a bunch of votes on this bad boy. 83%. Wow, that's where it went. Ty, last year we led the country in fumbles lost. Yeah, they did. It was Petrino's offense. He is partially responsible for not stopping this problem. Heartbroken Hog. He's laying it out for you. I couldn't agree more. He takes some of the blame here. You do work on these things. There's a reason why you work on them. You don't just yell at them. It's things that you got to work at, right? You do that in practice. Again, I'm not saying he's 100% at fault, but he certainly carries some of the blame. I don't disagree. If Arkansas can't get their top coaching candidates, or targets rather, the powers that be will settle on Petrino. It's a nice alternative compared to the last coaching search, says Mark W. That's fair, Mark. That's fair. Hero Blake says, we covered the spread at least. Yeah, they did. Damn near won the game. I don't know. There's just some people who just kind of accept what Arkansas is too, you know? Like when people get upset about like not being furious all the time about Arkansas losses, it's like, yeah, but then maybe some folks have just kind of accepted that this is what it is. You know what I mean? I'm not saying you ought to be happy with it. I'm not saying you ought to settle for it. Absolutely not. I'm all in on whoever. Dan Mullen, hell, give me Rhett Lashley. He doesn't carry the ball. I'm sure they work on them, but again, he's not carrying the bread. Yeah, but Hoyt, again, these are things you got to work on in practice. This isn't a brand new concept, Hoyt. Like you work on this stuff in practice. You have strip ball. I mean, hell, all the way back. You know, this is something coaches have talked about. You have to work on these things in practice. And I don't think it's a coincidence that everybody that touches this damn ball fumbles the ball. Think of the receivers over the last 2 years that have fumbled the ball. The running backs, Taylon Green. That's not a coincidence. That's not a coincidence, okay? That many different people have issues with hanging on to the ball? No. They're not. I'm telling you, they're not working on it when the media is not around. They're not. I'm convinced at this point. 4 fumbles, 4 times you put the ball on the ground? No, they're not working on it. They practice to drop the ball. It's crazy to me. Yeah, the coaches aren't fumbling the ball. You're not wrong. But that's why you work on this stuff. It's no different than the penalties. Listen, when you rack up penalties, the coach is going to get the blame for that, as he should. Not all of it, because, yeah, it comes down to the player too. Comes down to the player too, but it's also stuff you have to work on. It's like the crowd noise thing, right? They work on crowd noise. You got to prepare for all that so you can get your signals in, and it's all part of the game, and it's stuff that has to be worked on through coaching. And I'm not convinced they're working on it. I'm not. And even if he says they are, I'm asking, like, why is it not a bigger part of your practice? It's just insane to me. Again, go back a year. Go back to last season. You had, 2 different receivers fumble the ball? Multiple running backs, Taylon Green, and it's the same thing this year. It's not a coincidence. Tennessee fans are crying. Oh, it's because Tennessee fans they might be touched. I don't know. All right, I'm going to watch the rest of this Auburn and Georgia game, maybe hang out with the family and all that. I'll be back on Monday for Monday Night Lights live, 6:30. Hopefully I'll have at least Tim or Travis with me. We are working on a Patreon video, Patreon content with Courtney Mims. She's going to give us the latest. Assuming we can work out a schedule. Sometimes it's a little tough. But that will most likely be a Patreon video. So you got to sign up for Patreon. She'll give us the latest on what she's hearing about the coaching search and maybe what's going on in the locker room and all that. We'll get caught up on it. Again, I'm going to say I don't know what Patreon scroll I have. I don't know if I updated it or not. Uh-oh. I guess we'll find out if I updated the Patreon scroll on here. I know I did on. Hold on. Let's see here. Oh, nope, wrong button. Here we go. Here it is. I'm not here. I'll tell you what. Okay, yeah, we do have the new one. We've got the new one up. Okay. I wasn't sure if I did or not. All right, that is going to do it again. Shout out to Patreon supporters. Again, you guys are keeping this ship afloat. By the way, shout out also to Direct Service Overhead, the Garage Door Company. Is your garage door acting crazy? Call Direct Service Overhead, the Garage Door Company. Look, if your garage door's squeaking, slamming, or just flat out refusing to open, don't be that guy trying to fix it with a hammer and duct tape. That wouldn't be me. Call these guys. They offer garage door repairs, broken springs, new doors, openers, you name it. And the crazy part is they'll come out the same day, even late. Like when you get off work at 6 p.m. and your garage door decides to play dead. I've been there. Direct Service Overhead is there. Real humans answer the phones. No robots. Real people. Direct Service Overhead. Raise the door. Lower your stress. 501-244-3673. 888-866-3667 or book online at directserviceoverhead.com. Again, we're going to try and bring on Courtney Mims, friend of the show. She's been on a bunch. And we're also trying to get something put together where we get the Pigpen Collective guy. We're going to get him on here. Again, Patreon most likely. Maybe we'll have him join one of the shows this week. I don't know. You know how we go. We just we'll play it by ear. But going to be possibly a pretty exciting week for some information. And again, we'll get some insider information as to what's going on with the head coaching search. If there is anything there, I think there is a little bit. There's some meat on that bone. There's definitely some smoke here and there. We'll see just what she's seeing, and again, we'll try and talk to this Pigpen Collective. This could be a big deal, and I think it's all legal. They're all legit. They're going to explain it next week, so I'm looking forward to that. And so I'll see you guys. Wow, I'll see you guys on Monday. That's it. Be good. Bye.
You're